back to Just Between Us Couch Show. I'm here with my whole family and Gabe.
I was going to say, this is like a Sears portrait, and then I'm also here.
So on today's episode, I thought we would talk about how do you know if you're ready to get married?
Yeah.
Because I think that that's a struggle some people have. Like, how do you know if you know each other well enough? How do you know if you're just ready to make that life change?
I feel like I thought I knew the answer to that, but then every time I'm on Reddit and it'll be like a couple that got married at 19 and I'll be like, okay. Then there's like 400 people being like, I got married at 19 and we're still together 50 years later. And I'm like, okay, so then I don't know anything.
What did you used to think it was?
Like, I thought like you had to go through some life experiences. You had to like date some people to figure out what was compatible. You should wait some time in order to like be compatible with the person and like live together and like blah, blah, blah. And then like apparently there's just like a menagerie of people out there who are like, I met my wife and then 2 weeks later when we were 22, we got married and now we have 7 kids. And I'm like, okay, good for you. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there are no rules. I just think that there are no rules.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when we met, you were not looking for a wife.
No, definitely not.
And so, like, at what point did you realize, like, oh, maybe I need to start thinking about marriage?
I think the part where you said, if we don't get married, I don't want to be in this relationship.
Yeah, you did
So
lead hard with
right.
that.
So I think.
Wait, did I say? I didn't say it that bluntly.
You not that bluntly, but yeah, I mean, definitely. Like you were like, I want this to go to marriage. Otherwise,
yeah, there's an element of don't waste my time.
There was no world in which you were going to be okay with our union if it wasn't heading towards marriage. And so I had to make a decision too of like, do I want to be with Allison? And that answer was obviously yes.
Yeah, show that ring off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Allison said her favorite part is that you have to wear a ring now.
She loves it.
I just think it looks so handsome.
It does look grown up.
Yeah, it looks so grown up.
That is the number one thing I feel in the day or the week leading, like, or the week after the wedding.
Yeah,
is I feel grown up. I feel weirdly like, and maybe this will pass, but I feel like more of like an adult man than I ever have in my life.
Because you're like, I have a wife. I have to provide for my wife.
Right. I have a wife. I have a family. I have this all because I'm wearing this ring. It's kind of
you wake
silly.
up. It's just a Talking Head song. This isn't my beautiful wife. This isn't like you're just like, what the hell? You're like, it's like those people on TikTok that are like, how am I having a baby? I'm a teen mom. I'm 31.
Yeah. I think it's like about if you have gone through things more than the amount of time.
Okay, I believe that.
So like, I feel like for us, even though we like hadn't been together that long, like we got married after 2.5 years of being together. Mm-hmm. In that time, we dealt with major surgery. We moved into a house. Mm-hmm. We like dealt with some family stuff. Yeah. Like we just like, I don't know, like I felt like I knew what you were like in a crisis.
Oh, that's huge.
Right? And so I knew what we as a partnership were like in a crisis. Mm-hmm. We adopted a dog together. Like we just like did a bunch of stuff that maybe if you meet someone at 20 to 25, like maybe you're not having that same level of experience.
Right. I think you should have to have a dog together before, not even before you have kids. You should have to have a dog together before you get married. Even if you don't have kids, just the level of like, can I rely on you?
Right.
In a situation that is like outside of ourselves. I feel like if you adopt a dog together, you get to see, are they responsible? Will they help me if I ask them to help me? Mm-hmm. Like it's a very clear one-to-one on like, compatibility.
The dog is like a proxy for other challenges in your life and other shared responsibilities.
And like, what do you do when there's like the dog is sick and there's a financial hardship? Like, obviously you're giving yourself problems, but I think it is like a good test.
And I look like I know in some cultures living together before getting married just like isn't on the table. Yeah. But I do think there's like a lot of good that comes from living together first, because then like the marriage felt like a celebration of what we had already created. Yeah. Rather than us like walking into this unknown entity.
Yeah. Yeah. My culture is now we can't live together before we get married. That's sort of Gabe's culture situation right now. One felt like, okay, this is a weird thing to say, but sometimes at weddings you feel like someone got a gun to their head. But like nobody didn't feel like that. You know what I mean? Like no, everybody was having a good time. Like nobody.
Thank you.
Nobody was. There was no sort of whispers of like this is gonna go. Oh God.
Oh yeah, were there any whispers that we don't know about at the wedding?
No. I
Any
mean,
whisper
not
campaigns?
that had to do with the two of you.
Okay.
Not that had to do with the two of you at all. Just like, oh, did you know that Alex and I got carded?
No.
I forgot to tell you. Okay, Alex and I are tiny trans men in suits. We are standing with a group of people. Like
At which
Matt,
part?
Michael, at the cocktail.
At the cocktail
Yes.
hour?
Me, it was like Matt, Michael, like other men. And we're drinking our little drinks. And a man comes over and he's like holding a tray of wine and he's like, I'm going to have to card you. And we think he's joking. So we're like, ha ha. And then he's like, no, I have to card you. And Alex said it took him a really long time to get to the point because he kept being like, you know, because we can't serve alcohol too. Blah, blah. And so like everyone in the group was like, what is going on? Like it took him a while to be like, we actually have to card you. And then we were like, then for like another 2 minutes, we were like, he's kidding. Like he's like, oh, I have to card you. And then he was like, no, actually, because
Just the two of you?
Just me and Alex in a group. Because he was like, we'll actually lose our liquor license. So you, even though it's a wedding, and Alex and I are like, I'm 35, he's 32, and we were like, just us. And the guy was like, yeah.
Was he then shocked to see you were 35?
Yeah. Melissa was like, you look young, but you don't look under 21.
Right.
I don't know. I could see it.
That me and Alex look under 21?
Well, with you, like your stash.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you have no concept of what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, do I look like it's my bar mitzvah? Like, what's going on? Like, and then we just kept being like, welcome to Gabe's bar mitzvah.
A week after I turned 21,
Yeah.
I got carded at a rated R movie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So you were like so ready to be like, I'm at a bar, and then they were like, are you even 17?
I was like, not only will I take that ticket, I'll take a beer. And they were like, we don't serve beer.
Wait, tell the story that Brie told in her speech.
Brie Rose.
Oh, I know Brie.
Is gave a speech at our welcome party, and she told a
She's
story.
One of your best friends.
Absolutely, and she's told a story that about us going away on vacation with me and Lou up to this place in Wisconsin, and Lou asked, we always ask like, where do you see yourselves in 5 years, personally and professionally? We always do this thing where we talk about check in, and apparently my answer was the personal was married to Allison.
And we'd only been dating 6 months, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, I think I said this on the podcast, but I'll say it to your face, which was very funny, is that you were like, I know you guys are getting married, but like you were doing your vows, and I just kept being like, wow, he's like obsessed with her.
Oh no.
Like it was like clearly you're getting married, but I was like, damn, he like loves her.
Maybe just intimacy makes you uncomfortable.
I'm glad that's the impression I gave, and not the like, he does not like her.
No, yeah. I was literally like, whoa, he like really likes her. Obviously, they're getting married.
But I also think it's interesting that like at 6 months you knew we would get married, but you weren't necessarily ready to get married. Does that make sense? Like you weren't.
Yeah, well, I thought I had 5 years, not 2.5.
Work.
But that's like kind of like that. It can come in stages. That it's like just because you're like, oh, this is the person I want to marry, doesn't necessarily mean like, and I'm ready for that right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No
I think
rush.
that took us some time because there are things where it was like, I think you're very much like, if I decide this is the best path to go on, I'm going to go on this path, and like, you know, I'm going to make a decision. Now, for me, a lot of times it's like, well, I think this is where this is headed or whatever, but I need time to even like get there emotionally, get there to be ready to make a kind of commitment like that. Yeah. It's not even just about love or about commitment to you. It's about so many things. Like
Allison's decisive.
How expensive it is to do everything, you know, like, but yeah, so yeah, it took me a minute, but we got there.
Yeah. Because I feel like it was like an interesting thing for me because I'm so different from you. So like during that time when I was like waiting for us to get engaged, it was like, what could he possibly be waiting for? Because to me, it felt like indecision.
Yeah.
Whereas to you, it wasn't indecision. No. It was just your own timeline.
Absolutely.
He was waiting for me to get engaged and unengaged.
Yeah.
Just in order to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we'll beat you to the altar. Don't you worry.
All the comments on our wedding photos were like, Gabe is your real husband. Oh, I got so emotional at the last photo with you and Gabe. Like, all right, people, like, I have feelings too.
What do you think your redemption arc would be after the divorce?
I become an even bigger Instagram influencer than both of you.
Whoa, I actually love that idea.